Men of 30s and above, what are the life tips advice that you all give for the men of 20s? Story 1. Keep the weight off, look after your teeth, stay clear of debt. Most importantly, have fun, make every day count. Before you know it, your 20s will be all but a distant memory. Story 2. Don't get married because you think you have to do it. It's the right thing to do. You have to 100% want it. This does not guarantee it won't turn bad, but the first option is a certain path to misery for everyone involved. Story 3. Treat people as individuals. It's okay to admit you're in the wrong if you are. Don't sweat the small stuff. Save where you can. Take responsibility for yourself and the things you need to. Don't expect others to provide opportunities for you. After a night of heavy drinking and/or questionable takeout food, never fart with absolute confidence. Don't be afraid to seek help if you feel you're struggling mentally. Male suicide rates remain shamefully high in Western societies. Also, no matter how embarrassing you may find it, if you have medical concerns about your dick, balls, prostate, etc., then for fuck's sake, go see a doctor. Story 4. Treasure the time with loved ones, especially your parents and grandparents. Even if you don't always see eye to eye, if you have a good relationship, they are a constant in your life, seemingly always there until suddenly everything changes. Don't be afraid of mistakes and saying sorry, even if other people don't do the same. Do it for your own inner peace. You will remember the times you wish you could say sorry way more than the times you felt like that fucker really didn't deserve that apology. Don't let temporal and ugly guests disturb your way of doing things. Women are humans. Don't put them on a pedestal. See them for what they really are. Some are good, some are bad. Don't be blinded by your own idealized perception of them. Be realistic, be kind, and treat them like you want to be treated. If there are problems, talk about them. Be fair and give it time. Sleep 2 nights before talking it out, if necessary. If it isn't possible, leave. Communication problems won't fix themselves over time if one part doesn't want it to work. If you think, I should get in shape, travel, say sorry, call XY, do it. Time feels like it is ever going on and on until there is none left in an instant. You will remember and regret the things you didn't do way more than the things you did do, even if they didn't work out. Don't idealize goals as a 100% fixed constant. Have them, really strive for them. But don't forget the here and now. Things like, I will start traveling after I find someone. Just do it or forget about it, or you will be circling back to the same pattern. Again and again. It will keep you from really moving forward. Gym, job, hobbies, or letting go. You know the pattern here. You don't have to love yourself. I certainly do not love myself. But you should have a realistic picture of who you are. Nothing like all this social media, I love all of me bullshit. Just know your strong and your weak sides. Accept your own weakness. Everybody has them, and do the same for your strong sides. Don't fall for the Jordan Peterson of late, or worse, the Tate guy. But be firm in your strengths and beliefs. Stand by them. You are allowed to. You have to grow and try to better yourself, but be realistic. One step at a time. Good God, that sounds like some blog thingy. Don't go empty. Don't put the spoon in the sink. Wash it, or put it in the dishwasher. Everything you can do in 60s within the house, yes. Putting out the trash counts. Just do it. It will make things easier, and you will have more time for the things you enjoy. Change your razor. Your balls, little guy, will thank you, and you won't dread the trim. Also get the girly one. Pink woman razor. The gel pad makes it so much easier. Keep money in your car. Buy underwear in bulk. Compeys change their stock and that sucks. Always have some kind of gift chocolate at home. You never know. If and when you need a peace offering, and you always have an emergency gift at hand. Write down the birthday of your closest PPL. Guys will appreciate it, even if you just call them to tell them that you hate them, and girls will see you as thoughtful. All for the cheap price of a few seconds on your phone calendar. Oh, and you will consciously remember the age of your grandparents, which in turn will give you a kick in the ass to at least spend some time with them. Story 5. Floss daily and don't brush too hard. Learn at least basic financing budgeting. Set space for social media, mindless information gathering, and stay the majority of your time off it. Cultivate awareness of your emotional, mental, and physical self, as in, I feel weird, anxious, but how and where do I specifically feel it? Is what I'm mindlessly doing right now serving any purpose? Eating, doom scrolling, as well as your surroundings, family, friends, groups. Cultivate calmness and boredom. Cultivate curiosity. Set boundaries, but not out of malice, anger, frustration, manipulation. Cultivate honesty with yourself. Don't panic when shit goes south. Give yourself time to take a breath and calm your thoughts before you react. A huge number of misunderstandings, painful and stupid remarks/actions could be avoided or at least mitigated this way. Allow yourself to be in the filth when necessary. That includes phases of depression, illness, as well as literal filth/shit/muck. Life is messier than most of us are led to believe as kids, and sometimes it's a long slog through repeated pits of despair. Be and remain cautious about people who speak with authority. Be ready to get confronted with your childhood and repressed memories. Keep calm and carry on. Just let it go. Stop whining and get on with it. Only work on superficial issues. Most pain is a symptom and a signal, not the problem in itself. Take the scenic route and embrace every moment. Story 6. Hug your male friends and tell them you love them. So many young dudes want to be affectionate and vulnerable but are afraid of ridicule. So it's always nice when after a few months of knowing me, it's them who goes for the hug first, or says I love you instead of you too. If you're having problems or mental health issues, don't fear bringing the mood down. If you mention it in a group setting, real friends would rather listen to your problems than cry at your funeral. Yes, some people will dismiss you and shoot you down, and yes, that hurts like hell, but at least then you know who you can trust. Respecting women means treating them as equals, not as adult children who need to be coddled, protected, etc. A woman is a multifaceted individual with her own thoughts, opinions, flaws, and virtues, just like any man. Don't generalize with, all women do this, or all men do that. And when a woman fucks up, don't give her a free pass just because she's female. That's what we call benevolent sexism. A lot of guys want to be the knight in shining armor and fight a girl's battles for her or defend her honor, not realizing how infantilizing that can often be. Communication is the most important thing in any relationship, romantic, platonic, or familial. Listen twice before you talk once. When there's an issue, bring it up calmly and without judgment, so you can talk through it civilly. Don't drop all your friends the second you get a girlfriend. That's a massive dick move and tells your friends you saw them as a placeholder until you found someone you could sleep with. I called one friend on this in particular, and he responded with some new agey bullshit about how I needed to learn to enjoy my own company when I was dealing with suicidal ideation and needed a friend to lean on. Unsurprisingly, I am not in contact with this person. Wanting to be in a relationship and going around trying to have one is a big sign that you're not going to get one, or it won't work out, because you're starting from a place of wanting any vague person to fill a role you've mapped out for them. Kind of like helicopter parents who plan out their children's lives without thought of what the child themselves might want. I see so many young guys who say they want a relationship or to be with someone, and they have a different girl every month, missing the part where it's not like trying on a new pair of shoes. You meet someone, get to know them, form that connection, and it's them specifically you want to be with. Learn to have an argument without getting personal. You're significantly more than what you do for a living and how much money you have. I'm very happy in what I've achieved so far in both my careers, but I'd rather be defined more by what I'm like as a person. And the guys I've loved and valued over the years earned that love by who they were as people, not their jobs. And I spent plenty of time on the dole myself when it felt like nothing was ever sticking, and I appreciated massively the friends who didn't judge or look down on me for it, and I repaid that by doing the same. Accountability is a lot more important than shame or punishment. Brutal honesty and speaking your mind all the time are not virtues. They're signs of emotional immaturity, and people who pride themselves on being brutally honest tend to value the brutality more than the honesty. No, the alternative is not lying. Honesty can be compassionate, thoughtful, and constructive, and the goal of the honesty should be to build the person up, not tear them down. Speaking your mind all the time without recognizing that there's a time and a place for it is the equivalent of needing to pee and just dropping your pants in public and whizzing all over the shop. Being considerate is not fake. You can validate the emotions without condoning the behavior. Don't try to have things both ways. A young friend I had was terrible for this, and it saw the end of his relationship because he kept texting girls he had crushes on, all the while insisting to his girlfriend, "You're the one I want to be with." And it saw the decline of our friendship because he was out for himself at the end of the day and had no sense of loyalty. You're allowed to change your views and your opinions of someone. Like, if you think someone is a good person and they turn out to be an asshole or abusive, it's not a strike against your character that you were taken in by an act that was very convincing. And the biggest one of all, traumatic experiences do not make you stronger. Healing makes you stronger. Giving any kind of credit to an experience or a bad person just means you're more likely to let it happen again. Story 7. Start investing now. You don't want to work in your 60 ES. If you're big on concerts, use ear protection. Tinnitus is not fun. Exercise. Extend your health span. Go out, have fun, drink some alcohol, do some drugs, but do not overdo it. Wear sunscreen. Story 8. You only live once. Take the time to do memorable things. Travel, experience the arts, read difficult books, focus on friends. This helps us to grow into interesting people. It's also things you might not have time, money for, once you have a mortgage, family commitments, a career, etc. You will remember these things fondly when you're middle-aged. Carpe diem, fellas. Story 9. Lift weights. Learn a combat sport, BJJ, Muay Thai. Wear sunscreen. Develop expert-level competence in something you love and something that's lucrative, either two things or one that overlaps. Develop good habits and virtue now. It won't just magically come later. Focus on long-term skills development rather than short-term gain. Develop relationships with as many truly good people as you can. Don't waste a single second trying to portray an image. Be the best version of who you really are and attract people who like you for you. Don't waste any time on romantic relationships with partners for whom you are only physically compatible. Find your purpose and pursue it with passion. Bonus: don't use or at least don't overindulge in alcohol or recreational drugs. If you're weak, learn strength. If you're hard, learn softness. Maximize your strengths and mitigate your weaknesses. Be intellectually, physically, emotionally, and spiritually developed. Improve your whole person. Story 10. Don't base poor identity on what you enjoy or what others think of you. Drink water every day. Imagine you have a jug of, feelings. Now you have a certain amount in that jug to utilize. If you spend your time pouring that out for others and none for yourself, sure, people may like you and think you're great, but you'll suffer. However, if you pour enough out for yourself, people will see that growth in you and be drawn to you. Look after yourself. Take time to answer questions. Ask people to elaborate when they seem excited to talk about something. Speak up for yourself, but don't push in. A good one for guys. Lift your shoulders up. Push your shoulders back. Then drop them down. Hold the position and take a deep breath, pushing your stomach out. Breathe into your diaphragm. Breathe out and hold that powerful position day to day. It might take time as you might have muscles that aren't used to it, but man, it will really help with your confidence. Story 11. For the overthinkers and people who are depressed and anxious, what helped me immensely was learning to get out of my head, which involved trying to get into the mindset of trying to not think at all for minutes at a time and trying to focus only on what's around me. I'm not saying never think, as that's impossible, but don't latch onto thoughts, especially negative ones. Maybe more important was learning to breathe calmly through our nose, mouth shut. You can get through most social situations and life's situations calmly, purely by breathing calm. Most stressed people don't realize that they're breathing too fast, or even holding their breath through stressful situations. When you think about it, if our breathing calm, no matter what, you will be calm, or at least it will help hugely. This fixed so many of my problems, and I'm kicking myself that I was doing something like breathing wrong my entire life. Story 12. Travel. Learn a trade or two. If they are not exactly a hatch you want to do, at least you have them to fall back on if needed. Don't drink and drive. Learn to be happy alone and love yourself before committing to a life with someone else. Learn to save and invest your money. Story 13. Invest in an S&P 500 fund or similar. Work out, eat right as much as you can. Smoke and drink if you feel the urge. You'll never get another decade where it feels okay. Don't tie yourself down with kids or marriage unless you're really sure, and even then, spend your spare cash, after investing, in travel and experiences. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will beat this. Just do it. Realize you'll make mistakes, and that's okay. You're exploring life and yourself. At the end of your 20s, it's good to mentally prepare for what's next. The 30s are very different, but maybe even more fun. Marriage, home, kids, career, it happens fast. Enjoy your 20s, you only get it once. Story 14. Talk to the most beautiful woman you know, even just to be friends. If you can talk to her, realize she's really just a normal person in a gorgeous woman's body. The rest of them ain't shit. It's like fighting a boss in Mega Man and taking their power afterward. I wish I knew this so much sooner. Story 15. Get a habit of working hard. I don't mean exert yourself unduly, but be willing to work and don't be lazy at work. Put your best foot forward, so to speak. Try to open your eyes and see what isn't being done at work that needs to be done, and do that. Try to treat your boss like a normal human being. He or she is just like everyone else you included, except they are good at organizing things. Start saving money, even if you live on a minimum wage. I don't mean skip meals to save money. I mean after you get paid, you put a little bit of money away. Be it $10 a month because you can't afford more, still do it. It will create a habit in you of saving money instead of spending money. This will help a lot later on in life. Don't choose a girlfriend purely based on looks. Looks are deceiving. Humans are in a sense like books. You don't find the good books based on the cover alone.